Is Dalton Knecht a freaking baller? Is Dalton Knecht an absolute baller? All right, give me a second here. Let me share my screen here real quick with everybody. Dalton Knecht yesterday for the Los Angeles Lakers. You guys can watch some of these highlights here. Look at Lakers. Down 3, need to send to overtime. The ball, Dalton Knecht. He's got it. He's got it. It's all good. Yeah, I'm 22 years old. I'm a rookie. Let me throw my hands out real quick. No big deal. Just another day in the office. And I don't want people sitting here and saying, oh, well, it's just preseason basketball. Dalton Knecht is a rookie, number 17 pick. Everybody knows that the Lakers stole Dalton Knecht in that draft because 16 other teams, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Um, Dude's an absolute sniper. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was talking about this a couple different times over the course of the last week, that the only thing that I was really paying attention to in the preseason, or one of the things I was paying attention to, I'm like, damn, they're letting Dalton Knecht just fire away. He had some games early in the preseason where I think AD had 14 shot attempts and somebody else had 14 shots. Dalton Knecht had 15. I'm like, wait a minute. So Dalton Knecht's taking more shots than AD. I know it's the preseason, but what that indicated to me is they want Dalton Knecht to shoot the rock. What that indicated to me is, Knecht, we need you in the summer league and in preseason to get as many reps as you can, because we're going to use you once that regular season starts. Dalton Knecht last night against the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to read this again. I got his stats right here. Give me 2 seconds. Played 32 minutes, 10 of 18 from the field, 8 of 13 from the three-point line. Also got to the free throw line and hit his free throws. 7 of 8 from the free throw line. I don't know why I love that stat, but I do. Dalton Knecht had 35 and 7 for the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday. And I don't need to tell you how desperate of a franchise the Lakers are to have shooters. Today's NBA, you got to have shooters. And that dude was balling out yesterday. 25 of his 35 points came in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Lakers won the preseason game. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that, okay, winning that preseason game is a big deal. I don't care about that. But I love the way Dalton Knecht was playing yesterday. I mean, talk about a kid that is not worried or afraid about the moment at all. Talk about a kid that has supreme confidence in his game, like sizing up players and taking jumpers over them. I loved the interaction when he would hit his shots and he would go to the bench, and then all of a sudden you got LeBron and Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura and Anthony Davis, all these guys pushing him around. And Dalton Knecht was looking at him like, yeah, that's what I do. It's one thing sometimes when you see a player, that, excuse me, guys, got to clear my throat here. You get a little excited. I got a little excited, and then everything changed from here. It's one thing to see a player that maybe doesn't know if he is supposed to be there, or maybe, the moment is too big for him. However you want to look at it, right? Like we've all watched players and specific individuals in sports. We've all seen them. And maybe there are times where the players that are interacting with their teammate, it's like, hey, what a cool moment. Dalton Knecht, the way LeBron was interacting with him, the way Anthony Davis was interacting with him, what I loved most is Dalton Knecht. He didn't change character. Dalton Knecht was like, the way I just hit that three right between that dude's eyes is the same way I'm walking to the bench. Yeah, that's what I do. Dalton Knecht was incredibly impressive last night. Let me play something here. I want to play you guys something here real quick. This is from JJ Redick, so give me 2 seconds to set it up. But that dude was absolutely balling yesterday. I don't want anybody. If anybody wants to throw shade and say, hey, it was just a preseason game. If anybody wants to throw shade and say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You're 22 years old. You're clearly going to get chances once the regular season starts, and the Lakers are going to depend on a guy like Dalton Knecht, and you're dropping 35 in an NBA preseason game. I don't care whether it's preseason or it's the NBA Finals. He's 22 years old. He's only played, that's his 5th game in the preseason in the NBA. Going on that kind of a run, 25 points in the fourth quarter and overtime, No one's throwing water on that one. Take a quick listen here. Here's JJ Redick right after the game.
My assistants tried to tell me not to put him back in the game with 4 minutes to go, so I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them afterwards. I'll tell you that.
Seems like you won that one.
I don't know why it feels a little bit different too, but the fact that it's JJ Redick as his coach, a sniper that was in the NBA and was a role player. By the way, Dalton Knecht, he's not just I come off a screen and I hit a shot. Dalton Knecht can create for himself. I think the more comfortable that he gets, he could get to the basket as well. He can size up a player and just kind of determine, all right, what am I going to do? Am I pump faking the guy? Am I stepping back and taking a three? Am I going to the basket? He's a real basketball player. And I'm not trying to disrespect JJ Redick, but I think I just disrespected him. But there's certain players that are just shooters. There's other players, it's like, no, I have more of an arsenal here. And it feels like Dalton Knecht's going to have more of an arsenal. That dude went off yesterday, and that was very, very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. All right, let me see some of your guys' comments here on Dalton Knecht. This is a great one. What I love about Knecht isn't afraid of the moment. Listen, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. Right? In sports, you got certain players where as the moment gets bigger, they get smaller. Other players, as the moment gets bigger. Can I give you an example? And I'm going to throw Dodgers into this. Kike is a role player. Kike doesn't have a contract that's worth $100 million. But Kike, for some reason, has it in his mind, hey, it's playoff time. I just take my game to another level. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But to him, it does. And I don't want to overreact too much because Dalton Knecht, at some point, we're going to have to see, obviously what type of player this guy is once the regular season starts. But how can you not be excited about grabbing Dalton Knecht at number 17? I thought it was cool yesterday after the game. Reggie Miller was on the broadcast. And he said something. He congratulated him after the game after Trudell was done doing his interview with him. Trudell had a cold line last night, too. He said something right when he's done with Dalton. He said, go put your hand in some ice. I'm like, Trudell, that's a solid line right there. That's a great line right there. Go put your hand in some ice. That's how hot he was. But Reggie Miller said something. He said, shooters shoot. And there was it was kind of a weird interaction between Reggie Miller and Dalton Knecht. Reggie Miller, for some reason, was more excited than Dalton Knecht. Reggie Miller, listen, these guys know who are players and who are not. Reggie Miller just saw a dude who's 22 years old, who's only played a few preseason games, and identified, yeah, that's a baller. That's a shooter. That's a kid in this league that 16 teams passed up on that the Lakers probably just found a steal in the draft. And the Lakers are desperate for some talent right now. Desperate for young talent, desperate for shooters, and desperate for talent, period, in general. And I thought that was a cool interaction because you can almost see Reggie Miller having this connection with Dalton Knecht. Like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that, and I think I see something. Again, I'm not trying to make it sound like he's the next coming of Reggie Miller. What I'm making it sound like is Dalton Knecht is going to be very useful for the Lakers this year, and that's what I'm excited about. Watching some of those highlights yesterday and watching him play and listening to some of the pressers and looking as we did yesterday, obviously, or some of the highlights that I was showing on here. So I thought that was cool right there.